school. I'm a senior, and I will be interviewing my great uncle. He was living in the civil rights movement during his time. What is your name?
Reverend Nehemiah Howard.
When were you born?
December the 21st, 1940.
And where were you born?
Slaughter, Mississippi.
And who were your parents?
Reverend David Howard and Mrs. Ora D. Howard.
And did you have any siblings?
Yes, I had 4 brothers beside myself and 6 sisters.
Where do you fall on the sibling line? Who's older, who's the youngest?
I'm number 8.
Okay. What did you experience in your younger days in life during the civil rights movement?
Well, I was living in a place you call Tutwiler, Mississippi, when Emmett Till got killed in 1956. And my dad went to that trial, and by him having 5 boys, we were all beginning to come into teenage boys. He said to the family that he didn't want anything like that to happen to his boys. So at that time in 1957, he decided to move his family to Warren, Ohio. We came to Warren, Ohio in 1957 because of what happened to Emmett Till. I think the year was 1956.
What school did you attend?
I went to Tutwiler Colored High School. That was the name of it. Tutwiler. Tutwiler, Mississippi, and it was a school for all blacks. And the unfortunate thing about that school, we all got used books. We didn't get any new textbooks. Our textbooks were from the used textbooks that were used by the white students in the white schools, and we got all the used books. We never had no new books. And that's a fact. It is on, I have my high school diploma, that's on there. Okay.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I enrolled in Kent State after I graduated from Hardin High School in Warren, Ohio.
What did you experience at that type of college?
Well, at that particular time, it was very nice. It's still, when I was there, most of the black kids kind of kept to themselves and the white students kept to themselves, basically. But we didn't have any serious problems.
When you graduated from Kent State?
No, I didn't graduate
from
Kent State. No, I did not.
Is there like something behind it why you didn't graduate?
Well, there were several different things. At that particular time, being from a large family, finances wasn't too good then. So I never graduated from Kent State.
Okay. How was your young adult life around this time?
Well, it was pretty good. The only thing that was kind of sad to me, the black school, or the colored, they called it colored back then, that school wasn't far from the new white school that where all the white kids went to. All the black kids went to the colored school. And the unfortunate thing about that, we had to walk to school, and the white kids rode the bus school, right by our school.
What type of challenges came across your path? You know, going young adult and then becoming...
Well, we didn't have the necessary things that were available to the white schools, white students rather, and we just got all the leftovers.
How did you handle these challenges during this time?
Well, one thing about that, when you have Christ in your life, that makes the difference. We had the love of the Lord in our life, and by my dad being in ministry, he taught us to love everybody. And I didn't grow up with any hatred in my heart from anybody, but that's just the way it was. The one challenge I had that we were not allowed to swim in the swimming pools, and there was what we call a sand pit in front of our house, and we go over there and try to swim. It wasn't that deep, and the white man come and took my clothes. That happens, but I still don't hate nobody. I want to make that clear, because we have the love of the Lord in our heart.
And were you a part of any civil rights movement programs?
I didn't do no marching because we kind of depend on the Lord to work things out through prayer. Yeah.
And did you end up getting married?
Yes, I did.
What is your wife's name?
Joanne Howard.
And how was your married life during the civil rights movement?
Good. Very good.
From all the tragic stories that happened to our African American family, what story hit you the most?
The story of Emmett Till. We saw the pictures of him, and I was told, you know, after they pulled him out of the lake, that we didn't have any black funeral homes down at that particular time. And I was told they had to call a funeral home from another area to come get his body, because there was no black funeral homes in that area. They were all owned by white funeral homes.
So what type of segregation issues did you experience?
Well, back in the 1950s, we traveled to Memphis, Tennessee to one of the church conferences, and we couldn't stay in the hotels. We had to stay in private homes because we wasn't allowed to stay in the hotels in the 1950s. So then at that time, they had bathroom for what they call colored. Then they had bathroom for whites. So then there was fountains that were marked for colors and different ones for whites. So you couldn't use those fountains. You wouldn't dare to use them. You only use the one that you was told to use. And also, you couldn't eat at certain counters at the in certain places back in the 50s. You wasn't allowed that, so they wouldn't serve you. So if you would sit there, they just look at you. Then, you know, you had the bathroom for whites and bathroom for color. That's what they called them back then. And once in a while, you'll see the Ku Klux Klan marching down in Mississippi. You couldn't swim in certain areas, in certain pools. It was only for whites.
Experience anyone daring to drink white-only water fountains
no.
or white bathrooms?
No. If you wanted to live, you wouldn't bother that. No.
Did you know Emmett Till or his family?
No, I didn't know him because he lived in Chicago. And one thing that I wanted to add too, as far as some challenges that we had in Mississippi, my dad was a minister, and we were kind of blessed. And one time there was another minister that lived on the same street that we lived on in Tutwiler, Mississippi. And he changed dealership, like maybe he was buying Buicks or Chevys. And he went from one dealership to another one, and the white man come took a razor and cut his tie off his neck with a razor blade and said, "Nigga, why did you buy that car from that other dealer?" That happened. I want to mention another thing that happened. There was a professor that was teaching at one of the schools, and he joined the NAACP. That was in Tutwiler, Mississippi. And he came up missing, and they found him in the lake just because he joined the NAACP. And that murder was never solved. Never did find out who did it.
Inspire you during the civil rights movement?
Well, yes. I watched a lot of the movements on television and different areas, and I said there was something I didn't want to hear my children to go through.
And have you met any civil rights activist leaders?
Not too many personally, because most of our time was spent basically in the church. By my dad being a minister, we spent a lot of our time in church. So we weren't marching or doing anything, but we were doing a little more praying and marching.
When you heard that MLK has been shot and killed, how did you feel or respond about that?
Well, we didn't feel good about it, but there was not too much we could do.
I know God has been in your heart through
Right.
this tough, long road of fighting equal rights.
Yes.
Was this fight worth it for today's world?
You know, one writer said, "I press for the mark of the high calling." So we have to keep pressing on, irregardless of what the circumstances may be. We still have to keep moving, period. So
Yes, sir.
you're going to have difficult challenges, but you can make it now.